All right, today we're going to crack open a system that some of the most successful people on the planet absolutely swear by. I'm talking about Robin Sharma's The 5 a.m. Club. We're going to break down the core principles that are all designed to help you own your morning and, as a result, elevate pretty much every single aspect of your life.
But first, just think about this for a second. What if you had a secret hour? A quiet, totally uninterrupted window of time every single day that was dedicated exclusively to building the absolute best version of yourself. That right there, that's the powerful promise at the very heart of this whole philosophy.
So, in this breakdown, we're going to follow a really clear 4-part blueprint. We'll kick things off with the foundation of success, then we'll dive right into the practical victory hour formula. From there, we'll look at how to make this habit actually stick, and finally, we'll wrap up with some genius habits that'll carry that momentum through your entire day.
Okay, let's start with the foundation. Because look, before we get into the how of waking up at 5 a.m., we absolutely have to understand the why. The fundamental principles that make this habit so incredibly powerful in the first place.
The logic behind any major life change really boils down to the simple 3-step formula. It all starts with better awareness, where you really start to see and understand your old habits. This new awareness, well, it allows you to make better choices. And what happens when you consistently make better choices? The natural outcome is better results. It's this incredible, powerful chain reaction.
Now, this philosophy argues that success isn't just about what's on the outside, like money or fame. True victory is internal. It's all about mastering what Sharma calls your 4 interior empires. That's your mindset, which is your psychology, your heart set, or your emotional well-being, your health set, which is your physical energy, and your soul set, your connection to a deeper purpose. The whole 5 a.m. routine is designed to strengthen all 4 of these every single day. Okay, so now that we've got the why down, let's get into the nitty-gritty, the tactical part. This is the real core of the system, that highly structured 60 minutes from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m., what he calls the victory hour. So the victory hour is broken down into this beautiful, simple structure, the 20-20-20 formula. It's just 3 20-minute pockets of activity, and each one has a very specific purpose. First you move, then you reflect, and finally, you grow. Let's break down each one.
The first 20 minutes are all about movement, and we're talking intense exercise here. Anything that gets you to break a sweat. The science behind this is just wow. It immediately lowers cortisol, your stress hormone. Sweating also releases something called BDNF, which is like fertilizer for your brain, repairing cells and helping you learn faster. Plus, you get a rush of dopamine and serotonin, which boosts your motivation and happiness. You are literally changing your brain chemistry for peak performance before most people have even hit the snooze button. All right. Next up, from 5:20 to 5:40 a.m., you shift gears into reflection. After the intensity of that workout, this is your time for peace and self-awareness. You could be journaling, meditating, or just quietly planning your day. The whole point is to get your thoughts out of your head and onto paper. This is where you can let go of frustrations, list what you're grateful for, and create a real blueprint for the day ahead. It gives you incredible clarity and intention.
And the final 20-minute block from 5:40 to 6 a.m. is all about growth. This is where you actively expand your knowledge. Read a book, listen to a podcast or an audiobook, watch an educational video, anything. It's about embracing what's called the 2x, 3x mindset, the idea that to double your income and your impact, you've got to triple your investment in learning. This last pocket makes sure you're always getting smarter and more valuable.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds great, but waking up at 5 a.m. is hard. And you are not wrong. It is. So how in the world do you turn this demanding routine into something that's just automatic? Let's talk about the science of how that's done.
The book lays out this 66-day protocol to install any new habit. And thanks to something called neuroplasticity, basically our brain's ability to rewire itself, this is totally doable. The whole process is broken into 3 stages. Destruction, where you're breaking old habits. Installation, where you're building the new ones. And finally, integration, where the habit basically becomes second nature.
And here's what's really going on in your brain during this. Those first 22 days, yeah, they can feel like absolute torture. That's because you are literally breaking down old, comfortable neural pathways. The next stage can feel kind of messy and confusing because your brain is working really hard to build those new connections. But if you can just push through, you hit this tipping point where it actually becomes easier to get up at 5 a.m. than it is to stay in bed. Crazy, right? Okay, let's keep going because the 5 a.m. Club isn't just about that first hour. It's a whole philosophy for elite performance that you can carry with you throughout the entire day.
So here are a few genius tactics to keep that morning momentum going.
First up is the tight bubble of total focus. Think of it like creating an invisible barrier around you to protect your attention. This means eliminating all the distractions, social media, the news, anything that drains your energy. The core idea here is that truly great work, the groundbreaking stuff, happens in solitude.
Next is the 90-90-91 rule. This one is so simple, but unbelievably powerful for making massive progress. Here's the rule. For the next 90 days, you dedicate the first 90 minutes of your workday to your single most important project. That means no emails, no phone calls, no distractions. Just deep, focused work on the one thing that truly matters.
And then there's the 60-10 method. This is all about managing your energy. So instead of trying to work for hours and hours like a marathon runner, you work like a sprinter. You go all out, total intensity, for 60 minutes, and then you take a full 10-minute break to recharge. Walk around, listen to some music, whatever helps you reset.
This all leads to an even bigger idea, the twin cycles of elite performance. The whole concept is that top performers are always oscillating between periods of intense, world-class work, the high excellence cycle, and periods of deep rest and recovery, the deep refueling cycle. And this is so important. Rest is not laziness. It's during that recovery time that the real growth actually happens.
When it's all said and done, the entire philosophy of the 5 a.m. Club can really be boiled down to this one powerful idea. Greatness isn't born overnight from some massive action. No, it's forged through small, smart improvements done with absolute consistency, day in and day out. Over time, all those small wins, they compound into absolutely stunning results.
So the system is all laid out. The science is clear. Your own personal victory hour, it can begin as early as tomorrow morning. The only question left is, are you ready to own it?